Our next inductor, one of my favorite people that I've known for, dear God, over 20 years, the Guardian of Chaos, Big Daddy! And here to induct Big Daddy, this just in, he still has the whitest teeth in professional wrestling. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back to the stage, Kurt Adonis!
Pressed 3D Lux white strip if you're all looking for copious amounts of it. So what can I say about Big Daddy?
A lot! Come on, man!
So when I first started going to independent shows late in high school and early in college, there were two people that stuck out to me. One of them is sitting in the back, Ron Zombie.
Hey!
The other was Big Daddy.
Big Daddy.
Now, Big Daddy I saw for the first time at a Northeast wrestling show. He was colorful, he was charismatic, he had the boas, he had the sunglasses, he was in the top spots, and ladies and gentlemen, he had heat. And I mean heat. I've seen him in the ring with the likes of Yokozuna, Jake the Snake Roberts, you name him, he was in the ring managing them, managing against them. He was everything that I wanted to be as a fan. Eventually, I would find my way into this crazy world of professional wrestling, and Big Daddy, I've come to find out, was just as loud as he was in the ring as he was outside the ring. But he also has one of the biggest hearts that anybody I've ever seen in professional wrestling. He took this rookie under his wing. Now, Big Daddy was rolling with a real tough crowd. I'm talking about the likes of Jackhammer John Diamond. I'm talking about Primo Canera III. Now, as a very small and skinny rookie, I would have thought I would have been the target of all of their gentle ribbing, but he welcomed me in as if I were one of his own. It was February 2000. Johnny, where's Romeo Roselli? Remember we showed up to a show in Waterbury, sold out, capacity crowd. We were just there for a battle royal. But Big Daddy took me, he was scheduled to be in the main event that night where he was going to be managing Rikishi and Umaga. So he took me back to the dressing room and introduced me to the Samoans, and he said, "This is my friend Kurt." Rikishi took one look at me and he said, "Hey kid, can you talk?" And I asked, "What do you need me to say?" And, well, that's good enough. And Big Daddy vouched for me on this Northeast wrestling show, and my life was changed forever. I got to be in the main event in 2000, the night before No Way Out in Hartford, Connecticut, with Rikishi. And now, Rikishi and Umaga got the best of the Haas brothers. Big Daddy got the best of me with a giant Samoan headbutt. And the ring had to be reinforced as those three giant men danced for the hot crowd. And I'm telling you, that ring, that crowd, there is nothing I've ever heard louder than the three of them dancing together. We would have, back in about 2005, we would have events at my high school. Now, I always played the bad guy, and I was going to try to do something different. Hey, Kurt, be the hometown hero. I wasn't very sure, but I asked one favor. Can Big Daddy manage my opponent? Because I knew that anybody that's with Big Daddy, they're just going to boo them by default and maybe cheer for me. And it worked. A couple of years later, they wanted to flip the script and have me be the bad guy. And I wasn't sure that they were going to boo me, so what did they do? They put Big Daddy in my corner, and well, as you probably guessed it, they booed me. One of my favorite memories of Big Daddy, now keep in mind I wasn't the most popular kid growing up in high school or college, but every day at noon we congregated to watch Jerry Springer as we ate our lunch. And there was one memorable episode of the Jerry Springer Show where Big Daddy was involved in one of the most hilarious segments you're ever going to see. And the pride that I had in my heart as I pointed to that screen and told everybody in that room, I know him! I know him! And for one day, I was actually positive. I've always told Big Daddy that if I ever had children, that it would be the matches that we had together that would be the first ones that I would show them, because they meant that much to me. I look at Big Daddy with the highest level of respect. A mentor, a friend, somebody who showed me the road, showed me good times, laughed beyond words for many, many, many years. He used to be the guardian of chaos. Today, he's known as chaos. But tonight, there's one more adjective to describe this special man, and that is New England Pro Wrestling Hall of Famer. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the one and only Big Daddy!
Yeah, hey, listen, they got that fucking guy up every time. What's up with him?
Mario,
How you here last year?
I thought we were going to be at the Legionnaires convention. What's going on? Is this Joe? Where's Joe Bruin? Joe, is this a work?
Get security.
Is it true now?
Better get forward.
You're serious?
It's real.
I'm being inducted. I don't believe any of it. First off, folks, I'd like to thank Kurt, my brother, my friend. You're pure class, Kurt. I can't thank you enough for making me look good. I love you like my family. I want to thank Master of Ceremonies, Rich Palladino, my old friend. Still in the business, still one of the best at what he does. I'd like to thank Joe Bruin, the New England Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame, All Access Entertainment. Most importantly, my fellow inductees that I see sitting here tonight, and all the talent, Slick Wagner, Brown, Ron, Zombie. I guess I gotta mention Curry since everybody else mentioned him too. The real deal, Joel Davis. It doesn't get any better. I've worked with most of the people in this room, and I consider this to be the biggest honor of my life. I've earned 3 plaques in my life. One was serving 25 years in a maximum security prison for the Department of Corrections, which I'm now retired from. The second one was being voted Independent Pro Wrestling Manager of the Year back in 1994 and 95. And the third one is the New England Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame. I'm truly honored to be standing before you to tell my story. For me, this has been a lifelong journey, envisioned as a young boy, influenced and inspired by what I saw on TV in the 1970s. My parents said, let's take him to the New Haven Coliseum or the Garden or Madison or the Hartford Civic Center. He'll see that it's fake and we'll never have to stay up till midnight again to watch this shit. Well, guess what? They were wrong. I went to live events as a young boy and I was hooked. I saw Bruno Sammartino, Stan Stasiak, Tor Kamada, Pedro Morales, the Valiant Brothers, and Captain Lou Albano.
Holy greats. Holy greats.
I was captured by the personalities in the world of professional wrestling. Fast forward to the 80s. While going to Southern Connecticut State University, training at World Gym with Mike Katz and Jerry Mastrangelo, bouncing in all the local clubs, I would see and train side by side with all the WWE veterans. Back then it was the WWF. Don Morocco, Mr. Fuji, Ivan Putski, Jesse the Body Ventura, the Samoans, the Tonga Kid. And let me tell you something, when I partied with the Samoans, man, we had the time of our lives. Pehaoi, Melihini, Kahekane, Mahalo. To all my Samoan brothers.
You smoke ganja?
My friends and I in college, thank you, Real Deal, we decided to talk ourselves in to becoming professional wrestlers. Mancini. So we showed up at the Quest facility in Orange, Connecticut, where I ran into Tough Tony Altamori, Rob Altamori, Paul Roma was there, Tony Gurria, Tony Atlas, David Schultz, and Mario Mancini. The training, although standard for the 1980s, was a secret chore for me. I didn't tell anybody, and I'm not telling anybody until right now. The only one that knows about this is Mario Mancini. I had been in a significant accident where I broke both my ankles in 6 places. I broke my lower back. I couldn't walk for over a year and a half, and I was in a wheelchair for 6 months. I never told anybody because I bounced back and I was in incredible shape. And I showed up at the wrestling school where Mario Mancini was one of the trainers with Tony Altamori. And he whipped my ass from pillar to post. Needless to say, I didn't tell anybody about those injuries. I was only 16 years old at the time of those injuries. I showed up at the wrestling school at 20 years old. I got deterred. I started a career in the Department of Corrections. It lasted 25 years, and I started a family. But the passion and desire to not completely let go of my childhood image of pro wrestling stayed with me as a constant throughout my adult life. I trained with the legendary strongman Kenny Fontano, Iron Mike Sharp, briefly, and I mean briefly, with Mario Mancini. A close friend and I traveled with the Samoan SWAT team, Samoan Rikishi, as a favor to learn the business and to have some fun in WCW. With Michael Hayes, the Road Warriors, Ron Simmons, Sting, Lex Luger. Wow, the desire and passion struck again. No matter the injuries, no matter my limitations. And again, nobody knew. And I wasn't going to be soft, and I wasn't going to tell anybody. Not even Mancini. I changed my approach, and I transformed into the character, the guardian of chaos, Big Daddy.
That's right.
At that point, I had trained as much as I could. I perfected a handful of bumps as talent and was solidified in my mind as pro wrestling's next Captain Lou Albano. I sent countless demos to the World Wrestling Federation, Dusty Rhodes, Harley Race, the NWA, the AWA, all the top territories, and even went up to Titan Towers to deliver my promos to Vincent Kennedy McMahon. Now, earlier tonight, I had dinner with Mario and Paul and Sergeant Murray and the Four Horsemen, Duke the Dumpster Drosy and everybody else. And you know what I have here? I have a letter from J.J. Dillon from 1994 when I went up to Titan Towers and got thrown out of Titan Towers. Not the first time. Not the first time. So I had dinner with J.J. Dillon tonight. And I brought this.
Love you, brother.
I love you too, Joel. And J.J. said, sure, go ahead. You could talk about this tonight. More or less what this says right here, and I know Paul Roma and Mario Mancini and all the guys in the World Wrestling Federation and World Wrestling Entertainment know what this means. Claim rejected. That's what it means. Sincerely, J.J. Dillon, Vice President of World Wrestling Federation Talent Administration. We appreciate your patience and can anticipate our written response after we've had an opportunity to review your correspondence. Needless to say, at 56 years old, here I am. Thank you, J.J. Dillon. Roma. I know you're back there, Roma. This is the sign, Roma. I love that man, Paul Roma. And I love that man, Mario Mancini. And that's why this sign, look, Roma, he's got the sign up. Get that on camera. Because he's constantly kayfabing me wherever I go. Mancini big times me, Roma kayfabes me. But guess what? I love every moment of it. Oh, shit. I certainly tried kicking in the door and did all from wrestler to manager to broadcaster, ring announcer, ring crew, ticket seller, promoter, flyer hanger, and sweeper of floors. My locker room was usually very crowded by the mop bucket and the mop. Tonight, I thought we were going to hold my induction in the phone booth because there would be plenty of room. I did everything from soup to nuts, as Mancini would say, with emphasis on the nuts. Fast forward to my mid and late 30s, I started seeing some success, and when I met most of you young men here, I was already an old man while you were trying to be stars. Except for maybe Ron Zombie. He might be older than me, I'm not sure. He's certainly better looking than I am. So is Romeo Rosselli. Rosselli, keep your hands off my wife. Keep your hands off my wife, Rosselli. Listen, I understand you're a good-looking guy. I get it. Listen, fans, Romeo Rosselli, they don't call him the heartthrob for nothing. Wait, where's Antonio Thomas? He's here, so stay away from my wife, Thomas. Stay away from my, look at the hair on these guys. You can't make it up. This is not in the script either. Look, now they're sitting on both sides of her now. Antonio Thomas and Romeo Rosselli, the WWE heartthrobs, standing next to my wife, Darth. Don't be embarrassed, sweetheart. This is what the girls on the road called rats used to wish for.
Big Daddy!
I didn't do it.
I didn't marry you yet.
I learned, I listened, I studied, I made the most of it. I had testicular fortitude. At one time or another, I have crossed paths with several of you here. I am so humbled to have been allowed to work with so many legends, talented athletes, young superstars and performers. All of you in different ways helped me live my dream, and I'll never forget you for that. I never worked for Vince McMahon, but the memories of what you can accomplish in this business and never giving up is what can never be taken away. I've been avalanched by Bundy. That's right, Mancini, I'm going to name drop everybody. Because you didn't think I was going to name drop, but I'm going to name drop because that's all I have. I've been avalanched by Bundy, choked out by Slaughter, headbutted by Superfly, sockoed by Mr. Foley, axe-handled by Killer Kowalski, danced with Rikishi, wuzzed up by the Dudleys, squashed by Yokozuna. I teamed with Anvil, John Diamond. I was busted open by Terry Funk. I bled with Zombie, Curry, Kurt, Homicide, Balls Mahoney. I was bitch slapped by Sonny and Velvet Sky. I was licked by the Bushwhackers. I felt the wrath of Jake and the Snake. I took over office in my biggest honor in my career for the legendary Bruno Sammartino. And I even raised an eyebrow with The Rock. It was one hell of a ride. Here at the age of 56. I could be the oldest person in the room. I got a little lost here, folks.
Hey, 17!
I love you, Roma. I don't want to tell you what the Four Horsemen said. I love you, Roma. Wait, did I just start some heat here? Are any of the horsemen here? I love J.J. Dillon. Where's that letter? Thank you, Kurt. Kurt, you're always saving me. J.J. All right, fans, friends, fellow inductees. In closing, I feel so blessed to have been a small part of a brotherhood of professional wrestling. It's hard to explain. It's even harder to understand for fans and outsiders. But that's what makes it priceless. That's what makes it so special. The relationships, the road, the stories, the anticipation of performing live. A feeling, in my opinion, no drug could ever match. It's euphoric, it's timeless, it's in your blood, it's in your DNA. It's like a member of the secret society. Loved and hated at the same time. You think you're out, and something pulls you back. I walked away more times than Brett Favre. I'd like to thank my Paradise Alley family. In closing, I'd like to thank the love of my life, Dar, my daughter Nicole, my son-in-law Gio, my amazing granddaughter Mila, and fans, friends, fellow inductees. I can't tell you how much this has meant to me in my career. God bless you all. Travel safe, and I hope to see you again someday.